Hiya guys, happy Thursday and welcome back to my channel. So, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi referred to two individuals in the first half of today, and that is Advocate Elaine Harrison and Mr. Fadiel Adams, the Member of Parliament. So let us first start with Elaine Harrison. So Elaine Harrison is the Director of Public Prosecutions of KZN. So as the Director of Public Prosecutions, she's in charge of the NPA in KZN, the National Public Prosecuting Authority. So what then was the testimony of Mkhwanazi before we can get to know her better?
The cases are dependent on Section 204 witnesses, and then Bullet 3, the involvement of politicians and business people, is as at 2024 when Minister Mkhunu sends the letter or the instruction to disband the political killings task team. What in your impression and experience is the position? Is it still the same? Is it any different?
It remains the same, Commissioner, that there is a lot of interference with these investigations in different forms as is listed there, in order to try and close these cases by business people and politicians. And by and large, because they are political cases, the people on the higher level of the syndicates that are involved are the ones that are behind the closures of dockets. So the influence the docket still remains the case to date.
So Mkhwanazi is saying that he, as the political task team, as part of the political task team, reported 121 dockets to them, but they have 123 dockets. Ask yourself, where are the other dockets coming from? Because the question remains that how can a provincial police commissioner not know about two more dockets that have been submitted?
With regard to the decision of the minister to dissolve the team, trying to facilitate that this decision must be reversed in order to mitigate these challenges, which of course it had not happened, and I can safely say without jumping forward that the further engagement we've had with the DPP in relation to this and the decision of the team has led into the criminal case docket being registered.
So that shows the part of corruption and interference that has happened in the police without the knowledge of the task team, and that involves the NPA. Second situation that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi spoke about was the issue of evidence, that they will submit, but they will say that the evidence is not enough, and they will take back the cases and the dockets, of which I can, I familiarize myself with such situations when it comes to the NPA. I always had a problem with the NPA because, number one, you see, like if you guys go to magistrates court, if you're a candidate attorney, go to magistrates court, those kids that are working for legal aid, it's like they are trained to ensure that there's prosecutions that happen, even when they don't have enough evidence. And I've seen that many a times. I even once represented a person of which their charges were dropped because of lack of evidence, especially if you don't go there and you're like, they're saying that you did 1, 2, 3, guilty or not. When you want further particulars from the prosecution, you find that these people don't even have a case, which makes you wonder how many people are currently incarcerated that have not committed crimes, or where the state does not have enough evidence to prosecute these people. So the issue of evidence is very, very important, and the prosecutors are always accused of that. For example, look at Bushiri, look at Omotoso. Those are two examples, even though they happen mostly here in Joburg. But those two situations are examples that show you how the prosecutors just arrest people without enough evidence. Asbestos case, that lady who was arrested, and the court found that the extradition was unlawful. So that shows that the evidence is not enough and they don't prosecute. Sometimes when the evidence is there, they still don't want to prosecute. You don't even know what's going on with this body called the NPA. So that's what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was doing today, that there is always enough evidence on our side, but these people mostly are failing to prosecute people.
Between the South African Police Service, the prosecution, the courts, and the correctional facilities, that entire value chain does not get disturbed. So we must understand the challenges in between, and we put measures in place to try and mitigate those challenges. But if you have another superpower structure coming from outside and want to disturb this process, or there are players within this system that are in cahoot with the people that are supposed to be our clients outside, that want to disrupt the working of this justice system, it is therefore important for us to do something about it. So that's basically what I was trying to communicate in all what we have discussed thus far with regard to the team's formation and how it's been working, and what is the general working arrangements between us as the police together with the NPA, the courts, and correctional facilities in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Thirdly, he spoke about the HQ and said that sometimes there's situations where the case is ready to prosecute, there is enough evidence, but these people will not prosecute, they will not even go arrest, they will speak about the issues of evidence, they'll just find ways for them to not continue with the prosecutions, which then exposes the part of the NPA, the infiltration of politics and corruption in there. And also, he said that the task team had few members, even though they were able to continue with the prosecutions or continue with the arrest and investigation, they still had few members, but were successful in their investigation either way. And he alluded to two situations that are very important. Number one was the situation of a case versus, it was a situation of a trial versus an informal inquest. I said that sometimes the prosecutor chooses to have an informal inquest instead of a trial. So to those who don't understand, an informal inquest is sort of like a meeting where these prosecutors will sit down and decide whether to take the case or not. That's just the simplest of it. It's not that deep. So instead of having a trial, they'll just sit down in a meeting and decide whether to take the cases or not. I also spoke about an example of a man who was accused of murder and got a bail of 10,000 rands. And he went outside and committed another murder. It's not only the work of the judge to ensure that convictions happen. It is also the work of the prosecutor to ensure that people don't get bail, people they are arrested, and people they are charged, and people are convicted. It is not only the work of the judge. The judge just works with whatever that has been presented by the NPAs. And in most cases, the NPA failed. I remember I once attended a bail case that took like 3 months. And the NPA had no evidence. That lady would go round and around, and even the investigating officer didn't even know what he was doing. So the NPA, sometimes it is very good at not ensuring that justice is served, in as much as the judge can be blamed, but the NPA also plays a big role in ensuring that convictions are done, no bail is given. So due to their failure, these situations where people get bail, go back and commit, which then goes back to the NPA, which then goes back to the NPA to say that NPA, you are as corrupt as those people. So let us talk about now understanding this Elaine Harrison lady, because probably you're interested to know who is she. So from the investigation or from the research that I've made, Elaine, as I've said, is a responsibility of overseeing all criminal cases and ensuring that they're prosecuted in KZN, including ensuring investigations are complete, deciding which cases to pursue, supervising prosecutors, etc. Has spoken publicly during the aftermath of the July 2021 unrest in KZN. I spoke about the NPA coordinating cases and spoke about how the NPA can coordinate case protection in murders, attempted murders, incitement, etc. She emphasized that the NPA had to coordinate with SAPS, decide how to distribute cases from lower courts versus organized crimes versus high court, and get authorizations for charges like treason. She also oversees political motivated unalivings in KZN. In one report, she said that 79 political killings cases had been finalized in the province, some with life sentences, others still at various stages. Also, in one new piece about a domestic violence case involving a girlfriend killer filmed to Eswatini, she is quoted emphasizing cooperation between police, Interpol, and prosecutions to bring justice. So this is who this lady is. So we see that politicians are very much involved and are very much part of the syndicate, including the NPA.
There's no fundamental problem within the National Prosecuting Authority.
So this now tells you about the corruption of the NPA. Now talking about the Member of Parliament, who is Adams. Adams is the leader of the National Coloureds Congress and the Member of Parliament. He was very vocal when it comes to Gayton Mackenzie and him and those tweets that have resurfaced of him calling people the K word. He's very much been accused of many things. And I wanted us to know more about him. And then afterward, look at the evidence that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said regarding his name. So, Mr. Adams, number one, has been accused of leaking information about raids in a civic center raid, and that involved the DA. So, the DA is the one that actually reported or accused Mr. Adams of leaking information about upcoming raids at JP Smith and Lindsberg offices. Adam appears to have claimed knowledge or made social media posts that hinted at that raid. The DA accused him of this. However, Adams has denied the claims and challenged the accusations or framed them differently. There is no definite court finding confirming that he leaked those state secrets or documents. Secondly, he laid corruption charges against SAPS officials. Number one, it was Major General Lushaba, Major General Madondo, Pktt Mngunu, Major General Khumalo. And he's alleged that these people are negligent, they've misused police resources, and he also claimed that SAPS is like a mafia. These are public allegations. Some seem to be in early stages, like filing dockets that have been raised in interviews. Whether they've matured in full investigation, inserts in court, or prosecutions is very much unclear. There is no public evidence yet regarding those claims that Adams raised. And there's also issues of maladministration and controversies around administration. And that comes from the members of the NCC. They've accused him of financial misconduct, withdrawing funds without receipt, not facilitating oversight or audits, disbanding regional committees, verbal abuse of members when he's questioned. And these are internal complaints and reports in media and may not have resulted yet in formal legal findings. Thirdly, there's issues of ethical language conduct in Parliament. He has been reprimanded and suspended from debate committee work for using vulgar, racist, or sexist languages, particularly on social media and in radio rants. Verified by Parliamentary Ethics Committee ruling, he was suspended for 15 days and 15 days salary docketed. He made an apology later. Then there's also issues of assassination and safety threats that he raised. Adams claims that there was plot to harm him or his family, in part because of his corruption exposing activity, particularly in Marienburg and related to his allegations against DA officials. He says he has recordings and evidence. These are allegations that he has made. He did not find substantive legal outcome or court order violating the death plot allegation, though he says he approached police and submitted evidence. Whether the investigations are active or not credible is not yet fully clear publicly. So before we can continue to see about the allegations that Mkhwanazi raised, let me play you guys some of these clips from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi regarding the character of this man.
It's the same complaint and he lays the same charges, exactly identical, at Orlando police station in Johannesburg, 2 days later. 29 and 31, and these are records on our case files in the police we have. They can be obtained by the commission if you so wish. He complains that he raised these complaints to Gauteng, and they are registered on the 31st. 3 cases are registered in Orlando police station. 29, 31st. On the 1st of November, Mr. Adams sends an email directly to the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu. He is complaining to the minister, and his complaint says that there are efforts to undermine investigation related to these cases, and therefore is requesting the minister to intervene. His email is attached as a reference that he sent to the Minister of Police.
So from what is being disclosed, he's a very confused individual. He's using his power. He wants to show that he knows ministers. He's just that type of character.
Mr. Adams presented in Cape Town, he claims on his email that he knows that there was an interception of the investigation and the docket had been intercepted. So I really don't know what does that mean? That you register a case in one instance, Commissioner, the complaint is a statement is deposited at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The case is registered at 8 o'clock in the evening. But 2 days later, he claims an interception. Perhaps even by the time he claims, that docket has not even been allocated to the investigating officer. But he is already moving to another province to complain about that. So this is what he puts in the complaint to the minister, that
he's very much infiltrating the police and interfering with the political analysis task team investigation. Mkhwanazi said this: Mr. Adams doesn't have any positions on intelligence committee in Parliament, but he has access to unauthorized classified information, and he does in fact release them, further compromising the government and its integrity. This guy is messing with state secret and national security, yet he's not even a member of police. The release of this classified information or documents was compromising the Mkhwanazi political task team investigations.
Police should be allowed to first investigate this matter, and upon the investigation, and maybe the further analysis can be done whether there is any interference or not. But the biggest problem on this is the fact that the complainant himself does not avail himself when he's contacted by the people who are now investigating his complaint. He does not avail himself to be engaged in order to form the basis of his complaint in this matter.
So this Adams, he is playing that role, and that's part of the testimony that Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is currently busy with. I don't know what you guys think about this guy, and also knowing the type of allegations that he's accused of, like leaking information about raids and stuff like that. He's a very notorious leader.
A division in the police that is responsible for dealing with complaints, which is a division inspectorate. The report from the divisional commissioner, Lieutenant General Jacobs, is attached and marked MK15 in this regard. This General Jacobs and the team, upon receiving this complaint, they acted upon by trying to reach out to the complainant, Mr. Adams. They were not successful in trying to get him to come and elaborate on this complaint. And they read through the complaints and the dockets that he has registered at the 2 different provinces. They could not find anything that justify his complaint.
And I think more than anything, what I've seen from this process is how our politicians are using their power to get their ways. It makes sense because some members of parliament, for example, like the ones that we've been told about, Mr. Adams and Miss Kotla Bennett, both of them, one is member of the Democratic Alliance and another is member of NCC. And both of these people didn't like Mkhwanazi. You remember Clayton-Birch, how she used to challenge Mkhwanazi, why not go to parliament? The next moment, Mkhwanazi cannot say more than what he said. Then now it makes sense why these people have been attacking him, because they have been interfering with the work of the police in Cape Town. And now everything now starts to make sense. So everybody that was against Mkhwanazi talking on the 6th of July, it's now being explained as to why these people were not happy. Because tell me, why is it that these people who are members of parliament are using their power, because they're members of parliament, they know ministers, to ensure that things go their way in the police? And also, this Bernard lady, she's part of the ad hoc committee, guys. She's part of they must remove her now. She's part of the ad hoc committee. There's no way this is conflict of interest, because Mkhwanazi will be testifying about her as well. So she has to be removed as part of the ad hoc committee. Even though she's part of the alternative members of the ad hoc committee, she has to be removed. We want her out. Conflict of interest.
What belongs where in parliament? And I can confirm, Commissioners, that she is appointed by her own political party, which is a Democratic Alliance, to be a member of both the Portfolio Committee on Police that deals with the open account, as well as being a member of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, which deals with the covert farms. So she's better positioned to call the department to come and account at the right platform. But we have seen, and I said when I started, I'm going to throw one example of each. I'm not going to go into details with many. There are many examples. But she's one of the leaders in our legislature that is participating in both breaking the law as well as fueling these malicious attacks that are happening within crime intelligence, and ultimately directed at Khumalo as the head of that intelligence.
Our politicians are using their power that, okay, I'm a politician, I'm working in parliament, I have access to sense of Mkhunu. Therefore, you guys are going to take my case serious. You guys are going to take whose case serious, and I will follow up, I will do this. These people are using their power that has been given to them by the members of communities to ensure that things happen their way. We all wait for the police. When the police, you've done your case and they have to investigate, you all wait. You can just go ask for a follow-up, but bothering people to a point of going to ministers and, trying to speak to them, trying to interfere with the work of the police is a problem. This is the very same thing that was done by AfriForum when they were trying to interfere with the work of the police in KZN. And what's worse is that this Adam person does not even respect the commissioner of Western Cape. So it's a problem, this type of character and this type of behavior coming from our officials. But these two people, Harrison and Adams, they have interfered with political task team investigations. And this segment was trying to show you about how the role that these two individuals have played in ensuring that, or interfering with the political task team and ensuring that their work doesn't continue and they're discredited, they're seen as people that don't even know what they're doing. So yeah, I don't know, you guys decide from the information that you've heard and the clips that I've played for you guys to see if whether these people and these politicians or these people who are holding serious positions in society that are supposed to help the political task team are sabotaging them as a result. And what is it that these people are hiding so much that they are sabotaging the work of the police? Nonetheless, let me see you in the comment section and my next upload.